I'll buy you some McDonald's, bro.
Hubris.
How is that hubris, Moa? No. So welcome to another episode of the Zanza Cast. My name is Tim.
Gotcha. Dude, this is not going to work.
And I'm Richie.
Yeah, but you listen. All right, go again.
And I'm moving a lot of black people here. We take the property value all the way fucking down.
You been one fucking stuff.
You know,
nigga.
It's not really worth the editing.
Yeah.
Mostly. I don't It's a very thing.
We are
Essence. Yeah. That's how I feel when I get on it. It feel like every time I get on it.
Hey, mamacita, muy bonito. Baby, I got it. Like Mama Africa, you just way too bad. You the top nigga, man, go mad. You just way too bad. You the top nigga, man, wanna spend that bag. Bounce that ass. You got me so in love that you want that.
Because they were recording.
Like when you on fire. Got a nigga singing la 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 la. Let that shit go. Ask like that you got to let that shit go.
48 laws of power.
Welcome to another episode of Zanza Cast. My name is Tim.
Richie, present for class and them things.
Yeah. Welcome to our platform. Here we talk about entrepreneurship, fashion, and everything in between.
Yeah.
Sit tight.
So, today we're going to talk about, as an entrepreneur, like when do you call it quits? When do you move on to the next thing? When do you realize that maybe things aren't going the way they should go? And what do you do?
Yeah, today we're trying to focus on that human element, like when is it enough? When is it time to get out and focus on other things?
But for you personally, when do you think it will be enough?
Coming into the business, I didn't think about all that. I just knew that I wanted to start a business. But now that I got the business on and everything is going the way it's supposed to, I'm starting to see the end goal. So where I will decide to help out will be when I have created a proper system and I'm comfortable living somebody else's reins so that they can keep running the business.
But you remember the conversation that me and you were having like earlier on today?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, for me personally, before we even go to the conversation that we were having, for me personally, if I ever like seriously started a business, I would, in the planning phase, already plan for when my business ends.
Or you exit.
I have like a timeline I get to, so it doesn't matter where I am at that particular time. Let's say I give you 10 years. I'm going to build this business, I'm going to do this for 10 years. And it doesn't matter if I am successful
Or not.
At the end of 10 years,
You're going to hop out.
I'm either winding it down or selling it or, But I don't think most people think about business in that sense, or their own businesses that they're starting, which also leads to, if you ask me, you could end up in a sunken fallacy kind of situation where like you feel like you've invested so much already and you can't really back out, you can't call it a day. So what you do, you keep doubling down, you keep putting more. And you this is only in the sense of like a loss,
Yeah.
And so you never call it quits, not because you don't know when to quit. It's just that you just don't have the ability to be dispassionate
About the project that you started off so passionately.
Yeah.
I understand. Well, so you're telling me that you come in already knowing when you're going to get out.
Exactly. That would be my mindset.
I feel like that is possible for a seasoned entrepreneur. Like if this wasn't your first business, but for me, this is my first one. So I am just starting to see, the light. I'm just starting to have the idea of when I would like to help out. But in a time frame, I still can't give you that.
But even to tie in what you were saying earlier and back to what, I alluded to that we were talking about earlier on today, that one of the reasons for me as well that I would not be interested in, for example, building a business long term to then hand over to
Somebody else.
my child or somebody else is that is something that we are a big advocate of here is like, the why.
Mm-hmm.
My why, is not going to be that person's why.
Yeah, it's a bit different from anybody else.
And you could be setting them up for failure.
It's true. Yeah.
Because the passion and the energy that you will bring to, building your product, you're building your business, that you cannot instill in somebody else.
I do.
The dedication you cannot instill in somebody else. And that's why you might end up, instead of giving somebody a gift, you're giving them a burden, And sometimes, a lot of the times we talk about, we're building this and we're doing it for the kids and blah, blah, blah. And the truth is that not only you might be giving them a burden, the person that gets it doesn't understand the sacrifices that were made for you to have it.
I mean,
and that basically it's enough for them to not care so that they will lose it.
I understand and appreciate the thinking, but I think all that comes down to how you raise your kids. Me personally, I understand the importance of financial literacy. Like, I spend so much time studying these things. Like, just studying our economic system and see how it could work for me. So any offspring that will come from me, this is something I instill from day one. So, you know how us especially, like first generation creators of wealth in our families and stuff like that, like, we have to get it out of the mud. And because of that reason, we're very careful with our finances and everything like that. I see where it could all go wrong with my kid not understanding what drove me and this and that and the third. But for my kid, I will instill that as this is your way for you not to have to start from scratch. So you got to take care of this. And I will teach him how to handle money. So
all right,
I think my kids will be just fine from that end.
This is where I'm going to have to play the devil's advocate.
No, it's all right, bro. You're
because,
allowed to be the devil's advocate.
I personally don't agree with that. I'm going to tell you why. It doesn't matter how much you tell somebody something.
No, it's not telling them, it's teaching them.
Not tell, teach is the same thing. Because...
Really, bro?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It is the same thing. I'm going to tell you why I say it's the same thing, yeah? Mm-hmm. The only thing that is real to you, in my opinion, as a human being, the only thing that's real to you, they are your own experiences.
Yeah.
I could tell you what an apple is, or I could teach you to recognize an apple.
Yeah.
Yeah? But if you've never seen an apple, if you've never held an apple, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, I have to bring up this example, like shout out to man like Eve, you know? I mean, like...
Still waste man.
Yeah.
My guy still.
Yeah. Oh, we're not going to plug your podcast though. Hey. But y'all can look for Eve Rubasha on YouTube still. I'm not going to do him like that.
That's our guy still.
Yeah.
Eve Rubasha.
Now,
on YouTube.
I remember, there's a reason why I brought this up because, like, you know, Eve to me is like a little brother, yeah? And I always try to teach him things. I always try to tell him things, you know, about life in general and experiences and situations that you might end up in, you know? Yeah,
you're pivoting now, no?
I'm not pivoting.
Yeah? I took that tangent. You love tangents, don't you?
I'm not pivoting. No, cool. But it's going to tie in. Everything is going to tie in.
All right, cool.
So I would sit down with him and I would talk to him. I would tell him a lot of stuff. I'm like, guy, when I was your age, like, you know, these things I wish somebody would have told me because it would have saved me a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so I am telling him these things, I'm explaining to him, and I'm trying to give him some moves to make and whatever not, you know? Mm-hmm. And he's like, I hear you, and you will get the impression that you've reached him.
Like he's listening, but
you know, like, and then, you know, sometimes he calls me, he's like, bro, this was the shit you was telling me. I'm like...
The whole time, bro.
The whole time. And it's the same thing with your kid. Like, regardless of how much you teach your kid about financial freedom, about, you know, having their own and all of this kind of thing and what it means to be, the thing is, if they are not in the position where they then have to recognize it for themselves, none of what you've painted up for them, none of what you've said to them, none of what you've taught them means anything. Because at the end of the day, what is real to them is their experiences. Yeah? So what you're saying is an abstract concept.
Well, I would...
Moa, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah,
I would
to
tie
a
this
part
in
I
some.
agree. But I think that the reality is somewhere in between. It's more complex than
Yeah, of
it's
course
like
there's
you
nuance
have
to it.
to teach them all of this, so when they see it, they would recognize it.
Agreed.
So,
But
I
it's
mean,
still not
if-
real to them.
No, but you can make it real if you do both. You can both show them and teach them so they get the knowledge.
Yeah, and a lot of the
Then
times they will
understand.
ignore your advice until the point where you give them, or you see now I get distracted.
I know it. I know.
Yeah, that was obvious. All 4 eyes was in the wrong direction.
Yeah. All right, cool. I have this to say about this, and for me, I think this is the best way to go about this. In my journey in this past year, I've had to debunk like a lot of my own beliefs that I had towards starting a business, towards money. Like it's just so much I've had to like scrap off and just build over again. Like my relationship to money, for example, I had changed that the way I see money.
Well, of course
So
you will.
what I had to do was completely. I've created a very stoic-like relationship to money. Like I have no emotion when it comes to it.
You have to be dispassionate.
Yeah,
Like
I am.
the moment you get like emotionally invested in money, you have a problem.
I have become very, very stoic. Like my feelings towards money have become very stoic-like. So I don't look at it like that anymore. If somebody put a good offer on the table, I'm selling that thing. Starting off, I was very passionate about. But at the end of the day, the whole idea of starting a business is always the financials.
For me personally,
Yeah.
like I've thought about this a lot because and this is probably going to be one of the moments that some people have never heard this before. Yeah, but I already know how things work in terms of it doesn't matter what it is that you build. By the 4th or 5th generation,
It's gonna be gone.
normally it's gone.
Yeah.
Because you are the one, let's say you're the first generation, yeah?
Yep.
You start out, you make the sacrifices, you lay all the foundations, yeah? Somebody inherits you. They have a direct link to the person who was struggling to make, you know, all the sacrifices
Yeah.
and ends meet
Yeah.
so that it could get to where it got to.
Yeah.
Yeah?
They have an incentive to keep it going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Third generation now, yeah? They only heard stories about you.
Yeah. I never really met,
You know?
met me. You know.
They might have met you when they were younger and whatever not. But in that sense of like, you know, the family business or whatever not, they've only heard stories about what you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah? And by the 4th generation, they're completely disconnected from you.
Yeah. It sounds like folklore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like stories
And
getting
so
passed down.
the 2nd generation has an incentive to keep it going, yeah? The 3rd generation feels like it's an obligation. Yeah? The 4th generation may not have any such inclinations whatsoever.
Okay.
Because by then, everybody, let's say we started out with $1 million. Yeah? You gave $1 million to your son. Yeah? No, we're using very small numbers, but yeah, for a business, it's small numbers. But you gave $1 million to your son. You're not Trump's dad. Yeah? And so your son took $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah, or a business that was turning over $1 million in profit a year. Let's say it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah? Your son took a business that was turning over $1 million of profit in a year.
Okay.
Made it into a business that was 5 times that, now it's turning over 5. Yeah? The things that you could do of $1 million profit, you can do 5 times as much
Yeah.
of a $5 million profit, right? So that means that your grandson is growing up, your son grew up with $1 million lifestyle. Your grandson is growing up with a $5 million lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah? And now your grandson gets to a certain age that he actually put maybe 4 or 5 times on that business again. So now all of a sudden, he's putting in $25 million in profit. Your great grandson is growing up in a $25 million lifestyle. You think he's going to care or remember? All of these things are taken for granted now.
I think he would.
You know?
That's the thing about it. Because we don't pass down money, bro.
You
Big-
lose, and this is the thing that we've been meaning to talk about this.
I mean-
generational wealth.
I knew
knowledge.
I knew that was gonna tie in here somewhere. But this is the thing about it. It's not really about the money. It's really about the knowledge.
Generation
We
wealth
keep-
of knowledge.
You keep passing down this knowledge, even if they waste the money, they still know how to go and get more. It doesn't really matter. The idea is that they understand that you can make money.
Yeah, agreed.
That's just it.
I've never dispute that.
Yeah,
And-
so
but
if they don't want to
but
run
what
the
I'm
company,
saying-
who cares? Sell it, man.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
That's
that
something else.
if you get to the in my opinion, if you get to the stage where you have a successful business, me personally, what I would do, because like I said, I would already have an expiry date for my business. Yeah, expire that business, and all of the profits and proceeds from that business, I then decide how much of that I want to give to my child or invest in my child. Yeah. And then based on, or invest in whatever projects they want to start or whatever they want to do and give them the knowledge.
You gotta give them that,
Yeah.
bro. Because
So-
financial knowledge you could use with pretty much
Exactly.
whatever you want.
So I will give you the capital if you need it
Yeah.
and knowledge. I'm not going to give you everything already ready-made because when you do that, that person doesn't have their own why.
No, they do not.
You know?
I mean, boy, you wanted to say something. What was it?
No, you passed it.
All right. Well, when I really think about it, like when you talk about financial knowledge, bro, like the more I read and the more I pay attention to people who are in this money game, like just the more I get to understand money, and I gotta admit I still have a very long way to go. But the more I understand it, the clearer the picture becomes every day. So how I saw money last month is not how I look at it now. So what we are saying is, if you want to keep wealth, or if you want to make sure that your kids are good, and they also have a way of making their own wealth, it's not really about living them money. It's living them knowledge. They just gotta understand how to make cash. That's just it.
Basically, because if you just give them money, you give them a liability.
Exactly. So if he was my son 20 years from now and he just graduated or whatever, and he tells me, you know what, Dad, I don't want to run this fucking company. I want to go out and do my own thing. And I will sit back and I'm like, wait, I've had 20 years with you. I've taught you pretty much everything that you need to know.
Yeah.
I know if I was to give you a meal and be like, all right, cool, go out there and do what you want to do, I know you're going to do it right because I taught you how to do it. So I ain't got to worry about you once you have that knowledge. Taxes, for example, is one of the biggest areas. And this is exactly why a lot of us usually stay broke. Because the government has designed taxes in a way that to make sure that we just have enough to pay our bills and just go back to the right way. So
The taxman loves you.
exactly. That is one of the things.
If
That's how you
nobody
can
else
teach.
don't love you, the taxman
Love you. Yeah, they love you. That is one of those areas. Like if you want them to be able to create wealth, you gotta teach them how to play around with that.
Know the tax code.
The town boss, like we said in the beginning of this conversation or somewhere in this conversation, that it is a buzzword. Everybody's using it, especially these Gen Z niggas and millennials. We like to really overuse that word without really understanding what it means.
But I think
If you can leave your business today, and go away for a whole year, and you come back and it's doing better than you left it, call yourself, if you try to convince me that you're a boss, I believe it. But before you can do that, I think you need to be quiet and work on that system and make sure that you get it right.
But here's the other thing, like with people and business, like, you know, I think like social media and just the general access to, you know, these different platforms has created somewhat of a dissonant environment, in the sense that, like, you know how many people are out here really making more money than these people who are out here putting themselves on Instagram and this and that, and like, oh, making this money, blah, blah, you know? And for me, it irks me because I'm like, first things first, all right, I'll take Jamaica as an example, yeah? In Jamaica, some of the richest people, you walk past them every single day and you would never fucking know. that
They got
they-
money.
You know what I mean? You will never know because, like, we have a thing that it's not really a joke, but it's something that we normally say. Like, if you go downtown Kingston, yeah, you'll see a Chinese man. He's in khakis and he has,
Usual.
his little shirt on, t-shirt, or he has like, sleeveless on and slippers.
Usual
And
shit.
he's running back and forth in his shop and he's selling this and that and blah, blah. The evening comes, closes up the shop, goes in his little car. It's not a fancy car, it's no BMW, just a car to get you from point A to point B. And he drives uptown, bro. Yeah? To one of the nicest fucking houses you could ever see. Drives his little car into that yard. Yeah? The opposite of that.
These niggas who like to show off.
Exactly. You're out here like, look at me, and they go to party, they have Hennessy, I'm like, and the Chinese man that you see in the wholesale, the man that you see in that little shop every single day downtown Kingston selling,
You never
is
see him
richer
outside.
than 90% of them, bro.
But like, isn't that the case, bro? Because like, if
And
you
it irks me. No, but this loudmouth thing, like this need for attention in society today, if they have a little bit of paper, it irks me. It irks me so much, bro.
bro, I hear all of it, I see it, but I mean, what business is it of mine?
No, it's not my business. But
I just
mean,
keep pushing. You can touch me anywhere with that. Like I said, if you can't leave whatever job it is that you work every day, today, this minute, and we're like, fuck this shit. I'm too stressed that I'm happy in this job. I am living this shit, and you can live off whatever you made in the last year or 2 years for a whole year with no problems. Call yourself whatever you want, and we will all agree. Before that, though, you need to be quiet, because what you're just saying right now, it's called the, I don't know if it's called that, but I'm gonna call it that. It's called the material trap for me. It is the trying to prove to your neighbors and to the Jonases that you got something, right? And then you get stuck in proving that you got something while you got everything on loan, and every time you go outside, you got to bring out the new car and buy the new apartment, and every time you do, you make all these little movements, yeah? You are buying liabilities. Before you know it, and you look at the balance sheet, that shit don't balance because you got a bunch of liabilities and very few assets, if any. You're really broke, but it looks really good outside.
but
But it looks really good outside.
But that too, like,
That is 90% or 99% of what you see around.
but that
It's
is
not
just,
balanced at all.
That is just like an indication of financial illiteracy.
Big
Because
facts.
here's the thing, yeah, and it ties into what we were talking about earlier again, yeah.
Yeah. Big,
It's
big,
not wrong
big.
with taking a loan. Yeah.
It depends on what you use it for.
Exactly.
That's where
Now,
it becomes important.
What is important? What a lot of people don't realize, even about like a capitalist society, yeah, is that a capitalist society runs on loans. Yeah.
Yeah. The more loans you guys take, the better.
If you can't, if there are no loans,
Yep.
yeah, you can't predict you can have a baseline for income, like or for capital in the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the loan that somebody takes today, yeah. When the bank says they'll give you 10 years to pay it off, you think they're telling you 10 years just because they think, you should be able to pay it off in 10 years? No. The bank has already calculated that if I give you 100,000 today, right, at an interest rate of 10% per annum.
So I'm gonna get more than I gave you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
so that's a
business.
base. But not only that, look at this now. But that's just the baseline. Because let's say that the currency appreciates. Yeah. What happens? You're still paying them even more money. Yeah. Because if the value of the currency that you borrowed money in increases, it means you are paying back more money.
I'll make a correction there. Are you talking about depreciation or the value of the money? Because that's the only way you're gonna pay more. And
yeah. If the money gets weaker, then you pay more.
yeah.
My bad.
No, it's all right.
My bad.
That's what I'm here though. We gotta be a balanced conversation.
Wow, yeah. But no, that's what I mean. You know, so if the value of the money depreciates,
Yep. But you gotta
then
fork out more money.
Exactly, you're paying more money. Listen, this is why they need loans,
Yeah.
and this is why capitalist societies run on loans.
Yeah.
Yeah. The more, and this is also why, like, if you look at there was a thing I was gonna tell you and I forget now. But anyways, if you look at China, yeah, one of the things that most people think that the argument between, like, you know, America and China was just based around China flooding America with cheap goods. Yeah? Or that's been the long-term issue. It's not. What has been the long-term issue is that China controls its monetary policy in a very different way than America does. Yeah? So China deliberately devalues
Their currency.
their currency. Which means that there is no way on God's green earth you're going to beat them, man, because they can stagnate wages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not getting out of that shit.
You
That's
know?
that's one.
They can stagnate wages. They can borrow money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay back money. Because what? With the low wages, they can increase, you know, people coming in to invest. No?
That makes
So
sense.
they're making money hand over fist. And this is the crazy freaking thing about just how money in terms of, you know, loans, it's just how much money so China is actually using the capitalist society against itself.
I mean, fuck yeah.
Yeah? Which is so fucking
I
crazy.
mean, it is the same case we always talk about. Like, your ignorance here is not my business. You want to be able to compete, you got to know as much as the person you're competing against. And if you're not doing that, then it's on you, bro. That's a trap that we all, I think a majority of us usually fall into, because we want to get the liabilities, but what they do in the end, even student loans, and that is included in there, because this is stuff that keeps you in a hole. And when I say it keeps you in a hole, a lot of people be like, oh, but I need this and I need that. Yeah. But guess what? It leaves you with nothing that you can invest.
But
It leaves you exactly where you need to
now
be.
I remember what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Because this is important too.
Yeah.
When I say like loans, like the capitalist society runs on loans, and we're living in a capitalist society. This is what I remember now. My favorite club, Manchester United, is owned by the Glazers. Yeah. You know what them man do? Them man took a loan to buy United. Yeah? Not their own money, they're rich.
I mean, bro, why would you pay your own money for that?
Wait, they buy United,
Yeah.
then they leverage the club.
Pay you back your loan with your own money.
To take loans, wait. They leverage a fucking club to take more loans. That's how they buy players and stuff. So the club is making a shitload of money. Yeah? But guess what? None of that money is going back into the club. So all of the money that the club makes, they take it, one, to pay off the loan that they took, and then they take out profits, and then there's nothing left for the club. So when they need players, they go and take another loan.
Makes sense.
And they leave it on the club. So none of their actual money goes into the club.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean,
Dude, like, this is so fucking crazy. And then now...
No, you don't crazy. Motherfuckers understood the financial system and how you
But
can
here's
play
the craziest part of it. Now, when they're going to sell the club, because now they want, like... We want them out. We want the fucking Glazers gone. I'm putting that on record. Yeah?
I mean, I don't mind them.
Them man is pagans.
I don't mind them. They seem alright. They seem like good guys.
No. From a capitalist perspective, yes. But them man is pagans, bro. Yeah? Them man is pagans, bro.
They seem like good guys.
Now, what they're going to do, they want to sell the club. Or we want them to sell the club. There's been pressure on them to sell the club. And now they valued the club at $6 billion. Yeah? Mind you, I think they bought it for like under $1 billion anyways. Yeah? But now they want to sell the club for $6 billion, and they're going to hold out.
Yeah.
For at least $6 billion. They're hoping for bidding war to drive the price up. Yeah? What do you think they're going to do? The loans that they've taken is not up to $6 billion.
I know they don't get anywhere close.
So you know what's going to happen? When they sell the club for $6 billion, that man is going to pay off the loans, which probably, I think the last time I checked, it was like 1.5 billion or something like that. The club was in debt.
Yeah.
That man probably, it is even crazier. They could take all $6 billion and sell the club with the debts, depending on the arrangement that the new owners are coming in with.
I mean,
Because they could tell the new owners that, like, what we really want for this is 7.5, but we'll sell it to you for 6 billion, as long as you guarantee the loans. Yeah.
it is like
And
this,
that would be so fucking crazy to go in there with money that you borrowed, leave it on the club, and then walk away.
I mean, that's exactly what you do. Why would you spend your own money buying that shit?
Bro,
Like,
that
it makes
is-
absolutely no sense.
Bro, no, I get, like, when
If-
it comes to them figures, I get why you need loans, yes.
Bro,
And I'm
even
not-
if you had it, I'm still not paying.
Bro, no, like, that is some...
I'm not giving you money.
Nah, bro.
Wait, what I've come to realize is when somebody tells you they're worth, say, $1 billion, it's never really $1 billion
never
in the
money.
bank, so I don't get it.
No, it's never money. Like,
I gotta borrow this shit.
anything over $1 billion oftentimes is mostly tied up in assets.
I mean, you'll be a total idiot, bro, to have $1 billion sitting in an account. What are you doing?
Wow.
Like, what are you doing?
Nah,
There's
but
just so much
anything-
that you could
most
do.
people don't. Most people don't have $1 billion in an account.
No, you shouldn't have $1 billion in your account.
A lot of billionaires, their money is tied up in investments and stuff like that, and then it's oftentimes of a valuation, which is why, ironically, your friend could lose his billionaire status so quickly, because his billions.
It makes sense though.
His billions was tied up in the deal with Adidas.
He's gonna be a
And-
billionaire
and
real
which-
soon. My friend, he's talking about Kanye. Listen, man.
You know, just tell him to send like just like a 20 mil my way, that we could be friends too.
Financial literacy. You want to keep money, and then we just connected back full circle from where we started. When do you know when it's enough? When do you get out? Me personally, I know where I started. I don't have, like I said before, I don't have a date, or I don't have a specific point as to when. I would like to pass this down to my kids and see what they do with it. But the way I think about things, it's quite, it changes every day. It's an evolving process of thinking. So it's like, I might decide 5 years after this that, cool, I think this thing has gained enough value now, I can just kick it off, take whatever it is that I make off it, go start a new business, or just go somewhere lounge, who knows. But
For me personally,
I don't want to keep working. That's the thing about it.
exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
because-
That's why for me personally, I would have like a 10-year, like just a 10-year plan, regardless of when I start. 10 years, no more.
I couldn't tell you when. Like, it's really hard to know, especially with good businesses. They say a lot of businesses that start out, right, usually fail in the first year. And the ones that don't fail in the first year, yeah, they fail in the first 5.
They're not profitable anyways for the first 2.
They say, and the ones that don't fail in the first year, they fail in the first 5. And the ones that don't fail in the first 5, they fade out in between 10. And the reason for that is this: you might have a really stubborn owner, right? Who, even though they're making losses and stuff, is not going the right way.
Sunken fallacy.
They're still in there.
Sunken
They
fallacy.
keep going, right? And then they turn the thing around. And then they manage to go the whole 5, right? And then they started making money. Maybe it might not be the kind of profits that he envisioned, but it's still bringing in more money than it's going out, right? So you're making some money, and it kind of validates why you started it. But after you've expended yourself that intensively for 5 years, you're out of juice. As an entrepreneur, it's just like you need something new. You need something fresh to keep you going. So most of the times, from my research and what I've been able to gather, is that after the 5 years, most people usually sell the business and let in another young entrepreneur who is eager to come in and take over so they can keep going. So the business doesn't go down, but you sell that guy. That gotta go.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, for me, that's why the ideal thing would be like 10 years. I'm not planning for the longevity of my business or anything like that.
No.
I'm selling it after 10 years because that has to be the cutoff point. Yeah?
Yeah.
It has to be the cutoff point, because if it's not, then I am going, when do I get time for me? When do I get time to have the energy to actually live outside of having my life being defined by running a business?
That's facts.
You have to, and regardless of how much you love your business, regardless of how much you're passionate about what you're doing, you are going to have to ask yourself the question, when do I find time for me as a person? When do I get to enjoy life? Because being a business owner is not a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
It is.
It's a 99.
It is a 9 to 9 if you're lucky.
It's a 99. That's me, I tell you. But I mean, for every entrepreneur out there, the end goal should be. I mean, I can't tell anybody else what to think or how to run their business. But for me personally, I know that I didn't start a business so I can work harder.
Work
So
smarter.
yeah, so the idea is develop the business, develop a system, and making sure that the system is so well documented. So if I hire people and bring them in, they can just follow the blueprint and run my business for me, so I can go do other things. The idea is not to stay there and always be making designs and running around and chasing manufacturers and all. Set a template and a manual everybody can follow, bring in some new blood, let them take over. You go do something else that makes your blood rush. Because you can't just do the same thing.
All right, I don't want no blood rushing.
Well, I was just saying,
I want to
man.
be like somewhere in my feet.
I mean, I just want to graduate from that from that quadrant of being a business owner or that self-employed. You go to being a business owner, and then after that, you just invest most of your funds and you just become an investor, bro. So you can go somewhere else and chill. But it comes down to financial literacy, and like I said, I don't think I'm there. But every day is a new day for me to learn and really understand how I can play around with the system and how I can play around with money and understand taxes and everything like that. So that my money, so that it works for me. So I don't have to be out grinding all day. That is why I started a business. It was never for...
But if you plan to start a business, you must plan to end a business too.
Yes, for sure.
If you're not doing that, then you're setting an impossible goal for yourself in the sense that you have nothing in reality. Once you've gotten to profitability and you've gotten to the point where your business is comfortably running,
like day to day,
you have no real goal after that.
No,
you have no real goal, because then it's just okay, in perpetuity now.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself is going to be, like, in my opinion, a drag, because you don't have anything to work towards anymore.
Yeah.
You've come to profitability, you are stable, you know all the ins and outs and everything of how the business.
Like you plateau, right? Like
you plateau
at an energy level. Like you just plateau.
And then this is actually setting yourself up for decline. Because then the energy is no longer there. There's nowhere to conquer.
You need a challenge after that.
So you basically end up in a situation where you are just, if you're thinking linear, then your business is just going to run itself into perpetuity. And with that being said, you have nothing else to look forward to than to get up tomorrow, do the same thing that you did yesterday, and the same thing you did today is exactly the same thing you're gonna do 5 years from now. It's like order new stock, change a little thing on the website,
but like
update the prices.
Bro,
it just becomes monotonous and it will suck the life out of you.
But like, I can also imagine there's somebody out there that's what they want. They want to keep working, they want to have that sense of purpose, and they want to keep going, and I can't knock everybody off it. But I know...
No, I'm speaking for myself still.
Yeah, like, at a personal level, and this is advice I can't give anyone, but just do whatever it is that you are capable of doing. Because from my mentors and the people that I listen to and people who have been through this journey, and they would always tell me, like, every time you graduate from one tier to the next one, it's a new set of rules, and it's a whole new school of information that you need to take in for you to be able to handle what comes in the next step. So some people might not be willing or not able to take in that much information in such a short period of time, so that they can adapt really and keep growing to the people that they want to be. So if you fit in that category, I can understand that you might be content, and just like having a job is not wrong. It's nothing wrong with it. Owning your own small business and being a business owner, nothing wrong with it. But the parts where you can actually have like your financial freedom and get to really decide what the fuck it is you want to do, it's in between owning business that has employees who do everything and you've invested. Anywhere else, yeah, you have to be there. And if you have to be there, then you really can call yourself a boss.
With that being said, you know, we have fun talking today, and I did leave some salt in that wound. Like, he's gonna see me off here or whatever. Like, I don't care.
Whatever.
Catch me outside.
Hey, thank you for watching the show. Have a good night.
Peace. We out.